I can put you on speakerphone, and if I see you pop up on the screen, we can switch. Okay. All right, we're going to start with the right. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mike, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay. Call this meeting to order, Monday, April 17th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Nathan Anderson.
Here.
Troy Brewer.
Here.
Will Wilkie.
Here.
Art Schott.
Here.
Eli Seeley. Teresa Swagan. Mike Peterman.
Here.
Agenda was sent out. This is not on the agenda, right?
No, she just brought that in.
I can add that. We'll do that under discussion and information items. I'd like to add the 2023 National Library Week proclamation. Is there a motion to adopt the amended agenda?
We'll move to adopt the amended agenda.
Second. Motion by Boone, seconded to adopt the amended agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Minutes were sent out for the April 3rd, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the April 3rd, 2023 meeting minutes?
We'll move to approve the minutes from April 3rd, 2022.
Second. Motion by Boone, seconded to approve the April 3rd, 2023 minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Public hearings. Number 1.
We have a request to rezone from Natural Resource Conservation District and Single Family Residential District to a multifamily residential district, the Bach Tract 1 or Freeman's Tract 1, Lot 1, Southeast Quarter, Section 32, in the Township 96, Range 50, City of Beresford, Lincoln County. This was giving a hearing a week ago at the Planning and Zoning meeting. We had quite a few people in attendance. I think most of these folks here were there at that meeting also. The Bach brothers have agreed to sell a parcel of ground to the Beresford Housing and Redevelopment Commission for the establishment of a new housing development in town, approximately 18 acres of land. Where they are looking to go multifamily in there, and the reason they want to do that is they want to be able to do some single and some twin homes and maybe a 3 or 4-plex. They haven't got to that point yet, but mostly single family, maybe some multifamily being a twin home. So that's what they're looking to do in that area. They're going to have access coming off of 3rd Street. There's a couple of public right-of-ways. Grant Street and Garfield will serve the property on the south side, continuing up 3rd Street all the way to the Gun Club Road, which will be serving the new ball fields. So this area is going to be located directly to the south of the new ball fields and existing ball fields up there. Housing redevelopment has been looking for about 3 or 4 years to find a development, someone willing to sell. We now have water and sewer that are adjacent to that property on the north side. So it makes it more of a space that we can actually develop. There's some grant money that is available through the state to help with some infrastructure costs. They've also been working with a party that may provide some additional funding on some of the land purchase, so they're hoping to keep the costs in that $28,000 to $32,000 lot, which is quite a bit cheaper than what we would do without the grants and the assistance. So that's what they're looking to do. I guess if there's any questions from any one of you guys or from the public here, we try to answer those for you. I don't think Tom Diefendorf is here from the HRC tonight, but we can try to do the best we can answering any questions you might have.
How much are the residents around there going to be responsible for paying them for the infrastructure? I mean, you said the grant's going to pay for that, but they'll still be responsible that live around there too, right?
The grant's gonna pay for most of the housing development in the new development there. As far as Grant Street goes, Garfield Street, how does that normally work, Tom? Do you have that?
Well, there could be assessments on a per foot basis or on a benefit basis. If the city would install those infrastructure facilities, they could assess those back, some of those costs back against properties for streets and curb, gutter, sewer, water. It sounds like sewer and water is probably not an issue there, but street improvements. So those could be assessed back. There's a process that you need to go through to do that, but the city would have the ability to assess a portion of those costs back against property owners.
What's usually the portion of that, if it would go through, what would be a percentage?
Typically be on a front foot basis, Bob, and then, it depends on what the costs.
Sure.
The city has to bid all those out, and they'd have to build it to city standards, which is probably a 4-inch asphalt street for a.
Yeah, probably. Curb and gutter, 4-inch asphalt, 8-inch crushed gravel on it. A lot of dirt work involved.
Well, I know usually
Sewer extensions.
like when you put curb and gutter in, they pay for part of the curb and gutter, the landlord, but the street usually get paid for by the city, right?
The developer pays for the first 32 feet. And the city, if they choose to go wider than 32 feet, then they would pay for the difference.
Oh, okay.
So in this whole development here, any of this stuff in this development that they're looking, that's gonna be paid for by the Housing Redevelopment Commission. They'll hire someone to do all the work.
No, they're gonna probably take care of it.
What's that? Yes.
I live at the corner of 3rd and Garfield, and been there since December of '85, and there was no curb and gutter in the front, just a ditch, and so we, I guess, I don't remember exactly, it's been so long, but we paid some on that, and along the Garfield, which has always been good gravel, our garage is like, the front of our garage is like 3 feet away from the line, the boundary line, I guess. It's real close.
Well, I don't think they wouldn't have the ability to make you move that, then. Non-conforming uses on something like that are allowed to continue. If the garage were to be moved or, destroyed or something, then it wouldn't be able to go back on that footprint, but, I don't think they'd have any interest in making you move that.
That'd be about like the same down there on the Lifton Trust there, because he's got his garage and the schoolhouse is there. And then we got the grove of trees, so are they gonna knock all that out or
No.
what?
Well, that garage might be, the schoolhouse office that's back there far enough.
But the garage doesn't, the garage is just like right there, like Deb said. But we got trees along there and stuff, so they're just gonna expect to clear through there?
They would work within the right of way, obviously, whatever. They're not gonna go onto your private property and do anything like that.
It's already dedicated right away, right?
Yeah, there's already dedicated right of way there, yeah. So they'd have to stay within those boundaries. And if you don't want to pick, I've got some stuff here, you can take a look at it too. Kind of where the right of ways are, and it probably shows rear garages, that's somewhat close on those drawings there.
So when the time comes and you decide to put in curb and gutter and street, you're going to follow the rules to go 60 feet? And will that be an
The
issue?
60-foot right of way is already there.
Okay.
And then in the new housing development, they follow the existing subdivision ordinances. So they've got to go through that whole process of the subdivision. They'll have to rerun that by the planning and zoning. Most of this work is not going to start this year. It'll be next year
Right.
if they do get the grant funding. So it's going to take quite a while to go through that whole process. And they'll have to bid the whole thing out. And then they'll start working with all the residents along there to try to make it as easy as they can for everybody.
About how many people did you think this would be adding to the community, and have they already thought about
for the school capacities to come.
It's gonna be a slow growth. I mean, we could have up to 50 new lots in there. You know, an average lot here in town probably has 2.5 to 3 people in it, so you can kind of have that out. But it's gonna be a slow growth. It'll probably be 3 to 5 new housing units a year, which is something that on the pace that we've been on probably for the last 10, 15 years. It's not gonna be, we don't have any existing lots in town. I think we have 3 left right now. So if you add these to that development, it'll probably still take some time. It shouldn't affect the school too much. They're aware of us going forward with it, so.
Have you seen the photo?
What did it come in the mail?
I think most of them have that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Thank you.
And that's a draft. I put on their draft because that was done back March of 2022. So we've been looking at it for quite some time. The different options that were out there and available. So.
I just got one question. You said you live on Garfield. Is your driveway for the garage facing which way?
Facing south, Garfield.
Oh, if they put curb and gutter, that's gonna affect your driveway, or is that gonna affect what?
Well, the border, my lot line is like 3 feet in front of the garage on Garfield.
Yeah, but it's not gonna affect you using the garage, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, that's just what I was wondering.
Well, it might go. Through all these years, I have not parked my car maybe half a dozen times in my garage because it slopes down in the garage. And in the wintertime, it's not a good thing to especially back out. So if there's a new road, that'll be higher up yet. So it's just like, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I keep my lawnmower, my rider in there, and I'm kind of slowly turning into a shoe shed.
Keep in mind that the right of way is 60 feet, but that's not, you know, the road's 32.
32, it might be probably 32 or 36 there, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, there's room behind the curb on each side of the street as well, so.
So point being, it would be fair to say that the cost to improve the development would be borne by the developers. But potentially,
There could be
there
some
could be some
assessments
costs
on
on
street
some of
improvements.
the roads leading.
Right.
Or even in down the road, if it gets developed, there's some potential to hook into the water and sewer system. Down the road, we could assess a higher cost to hook into that system if it hadn't gotten paid for. So, and the city wouldn't recoup their money until that time. Somebody actually looks into it. Well, I know we'll definitely work with everyone out there to make sure it's done correctly. We'll have some pre-construction meetings, but we'll invite everyone too, so you can kind of see the plans once we get to that point. But what we have now is pretty preliminary, but we will definitely have a set of plans before anything moves forward and invite you guys all back in.
Well, the curb and gutters get awful expensive and part of the road, you know, that's when,
Yeah.
you know, it's fine for you guys, but you know, when I know it can be all expensive, but if you're gonna share the cost with the landowner, you know, that's somehow.
And hopefully it'll help improve the value of everyone's land up there.
You okay, Woody?
Yeah, I just broke my back.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine.
So the next, this is just a public hearing. When-
Yeah, and if we can have the first reading of the ordinance to rezone, and we'll have the next meeting, when we do the next second reading. And then if we adopt it, then we have to publish it. Become effective about May, late May. So there's no vote tonight, but we just have a first reading of the ordinance to rezone.
Questions?
Thank you for coming, appreciate all your input. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay. We're ready to go.
You're free to stay too if you want, you know?
You were always free to go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You can have a copy of that.
Now, what are you gonna have for?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, you're fine. Thank you.
Nice match, though. Nothing's lost.
No, she stayed out. I can't believe it.
Cat like reflexes.
You can only have to go out.
Well,
Go across the street.
Okay.
You get stuck out.
Okay, for me.
Once you get your toe.
Second one, Jerry.
We're is it okay to do the first reading then, put it on file anyhow? We'll put that first reading on file, yeah, okay. The second one we have, and Woody is here for that one, Woody applied to expand the campground into the 4 acres we purchased here a number of years ago from us. We did the same thing, we notified all the neighbors, we posted it out there for you. At the last meeting, I kind of just let Woody talk a little bit about what he was gonna do in there, so. Woody, you're here, you can give him the update.
So the biggest thing is, it's not any different than it was before. We just want to expand it to go to bigger, longer sites. We just don't have the facility to handle 45-foot fifth wheels and diesel pushers and things like that. And so these would be longer, better sites to handle that. The guys that came for the pipeline and highway projects and all that kind of stuff, they all have these big trailers, toy haulers, and we just don't have enough facility to handle that. So we've been full, we've expanded it, we've built onto it, we've added stuff, we're maxed out. The only way is to add more to the west to handle people coming in. We've been full every year, so that's pretty much it. Just to expand and meet a need that comes to town, and in the last month we've had quite a few actually that were just overnighters, and we just can't handle those long ones that want to stay hooked up for being overnight. And those folks, when they come, they're paying the higher sales tax. They shop at the grocery store and other places. So that's what I'm after. It's a need that's needed in the town. We have more campers that want to come, and it fulfills a need.
And we're just so they're clear, what he's looking at is campground expansion, but that's got a conditional use permit, so it's not a permitted use, you still have a conditional use permit process if the property is rezoned. So that's not a permitted use where it's automatic that you would qualify to be able to do that. There's still.
So we do a first reading, a second reading, rezone, then you still got to do the conditional use permit.
What's your plan for paved roads
Paved roads,
in the general business district?
we weren't going to do any.
No paved roads.
No paved roads, yeah. Just like the campgrounds that were built in Canton or wherever, why they don't have any paved roads either.
So our ordinance require paved roads on all driving and parking services in a general business, is that correct? Because that's what we discussed a year ago.
I never planned on that.
And the last time that you said you were planning to put pavement down to code.
We have pavement on the entrance, it's required to have it on the entrance.
But a general business district, if I'm not mistaken, requires paved surfaces on all the driving and parking spaces.
So we follow the same general ordinances and everything that CCOG puts together as other towns do. How do the other towns get around it?
You mentioned Canton, Canton the only one?
Ruttenville, yeah, when Tim did the one up there, it's right in city limits and he doesn't have any paved roads. There was another one that was supposed to go up on the east side, they were not.
How big or how
Most
small?
campgrounds don't.
How big or how small?
Those are big. I mean, we send some of ours up there. Right by the, I don't know what venue that is for weddings.
Well, that's just all the
So what do you plan on doing? Put gravel block?
Yeah, the gravel lots, gravel road. Our entrance is already paved.
If you got a 40-foot or 50-foot trailer, Jeff, we talking 6-8 inches of gravel to hold that weight?
That's usually what we put in, yeah. We've been adding gravel to the sites that were out there every year.
But if it's general business, they have to meet all the requirements of a general business, right? And it could be used for anything general business from that point forward. And I think our ordinances, and it doesn't matter what Canton or Sioux Falls or any other town has, our ordinance, if I'm not mistaken, requires paved surfaces for all access, driving, and parking.
Access. It does for the access.
Well, the standards listed for campgrounds are that the lot must contain at least 2,000 square feet and supplied with city water and sanitary sewer services. Access road on the campground site shall be paved or surfaced in a similar manner to the adjacent public roads. Shall be approved by the city and shall be 14 feet for one-way and 20 feet for two-way roads.
So we already have.
So it's not paved right now. Because
Our
it
access.
was grandfathered in, but the campground is not
He
paved.
just said that access needs to have that paved road and it's gotta be that width of 20 feet or more.
But I'm saying, when you were here last time, if I'm not mistaken, if others remember differently, you committed at that time to paving the road in accordance with the ordinances of Beresford.
But I'm already paved.
No, all
Not the whole
access
thing,
into the thing.
just the access. It says just the access needs to be paved.
So you have no intention of paving
I
anything in the new area.
can't afford to do that. You just can't afford to pave it all.
But cost is not a reason that you can bypass our ordinances, is that not
But
correct?
not bypass, it says an access. It doesn't say the whole thing.
But if you're using it for a general business purpose, it has to meet the ordinance, right?
But the ordinance, just the conditional use for the campground in that general business is just the access.
But your access road ends before your campground begins, and then you have gravel through another section, which is, I think, multifamily. And then you've got general business, which is where you want to put the new campground, right? So your access is not actually paved in there at all.
The access is off of 13th. That's our public road. Everything else is private. That whole thing is private. That's not a public road. So my access is 13th Street. So the chip seal we have there, which I have asphalt, but that going back, that is your access road. I already got it paved.
Back to the property line there,
So it goes from
to the
13th
office or wherever,
to, yeah, it's basically the office.
past Andrews.
It's way past, yeah, it's just past our office. It stops there.
I don't have the rest of there's other standards, and I don't have the full ordinance in front of me, but they would have to meet all those standards, yes.
But if
If it's in general business, as part of the conditional use, you apply whatever standards are applicable for general business purposes.
You don't have a copy in your office, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, I can just check, yeah, it's 12, it won't take but 2 seconds to run it out. It just talks about fencing and stuff.
Oh, really, the mayor.
Fencing and signage and all that kind of stuff, so.
I mean, the concern is if the council agrees to switch the zoning from one purpose to another purpose, and if a person doesn't meet what the ordinance requires, which for general business, you have to have paved access all the way out through there, and it's just gravel. If you switch the use from a campground to a warehouse to something else, which is allowable and permissible within general business, you could in theory have a dirt road out there. And I don't know if the city would allow somebody to have a dirt road or an unimproved road or a gravel road in a new business. Like Dollar General is general business, right? The Dollar Market Fresh, and they're required to have paved access and parking. So I don't see why this is any different. where you would not have to follow the rules.
Except I have to do a conditional use permit for just a campground specifics in that general business. If I was the Dollar General, I wouldn't be applying for a campground, I'd be applying for that business to be.
I think what he's saying is if you discontinued the campground use, when it's zoned general business, you could go into another use.
But I still have to apply for that use. So at that
Well,
time,
if you're permitted use, you wouldn't have to. I think that's what Nathan's
And you
concern is.
grandfather, I mean, the predicament I'm concerned with is, if you grandfather a road in that doesn't meet the standards of the ordinance, well then you switch it to something else 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now, or decide that you don't want to do a campground, you'd rather do something else because that's where you feel the profit is at. If you've grandfathered in a road, how can we go back and make you pave a road if it's already been approved? Which I think is the importance of following the ordinance as it's written. And again, it was explained to us in detail about a year ago that that road would have to be paved all the way throughout that campground. And that's what you said that you were going to do, but then you said you were just going to put some chip seal on it. So I think we need to be very clear what your intention is and exactly how you're going to do it.
so let me ask you this. How do you propose getting another campground in town? How do you propose to get any business in town?
Like a 70 lot development that we just talked about.
You're working on that, I get that part of it, okay? But
My concern, I guess, we
I
sold
get
you, Bedco sold you his property 4 years ago, roughly, 3 years ago. And you told Bedco, you presented this as part of the sale, that you were gonna put multifamily and single-family housing throughout there.
I get that.
That was the only reason that Bedco chose to sell you that land. And now it's a campground, what is it gonna be next? And there's adjacent properties all around there that the best use of would be single-family, and I'm concerned what you may ultimately do back here and how it impacts the value of adjacent properties.
But things change, all right? I didn't expect COVID to hit. I didn't expect all these folks to come in that need a place to put their camper.
And that's my concern. Things do change, especially it seems some of your projects seem to change quite a bit.
That's
And-
correct. I don't believe that.
If you're not, I'm curious how you plan to develop this.
Developers change things all the time, okay? When we did Ash Creek, it changed from what originally was planned, all right? Those things happen. That's just the way it is. So cities have to, especially smaller towns, we're not Sioux Falls, we're not T, we're not Harrisburg. You have to adjust to some of those things because we aren't a big town, okay, to attract developers and everything. That's my opinion. Yes, I thought it would be multifamily. It seems like it's a better fit. As far as single-family housing, that's a matter of opinion. Slumberland's not gonna sell, okay? I've been down that road. There's not a good access going south. I'm to the east with the campground. The only thing left is north, which is Mrs. Smolleck's land, and she has already made it known that she doesn't want to sell it this time. It's not going to happen for a while. So why not go with what we're doing? If things need to be changed down the road back to multifamily, or it needs to go to single family, and Jeanette's is all developed out, then it could change at that time. You know, a lot of times we'll take campgrounds out to put in single family or to put in something else. Or we'll take out a business district to put in something different. That's just part of the evolution of real estate. That's my take. You are right, Nathan. The general business might say some things like that, so how do we work to fill the need, though, is my point.
Is there any way, Freeburg, that if we even consider this situation, that there's a stipulation in there based on, you said, trailers only, and that would be the only attachment to the general business that it can't vary from that trailers, then it would have to revert back to another hearing to try to do something else? That we could approve something to what he's talking about for the trailers?
As part of the conditional use permit, you mean?
Yeah, but it would be stringent, meaning there is no way around it, that this is deal for the trailers, and if he tried to change it at a later date, like the mayor said, you better have paved roads, he would have to have another hearing and redo it. Cause I don't wanna get stuck in the middle, you know, cause I kinda agree a little bit with the mayor. I'm sure some people are gonna say, yeah, great, we got more trailers, and other people are gonna say, wait a minute, what do you got in the way, and blah, blah, and I don't wanna hear 20 phone calls, you know, negative either. I wanna be on the up and up.
I need to think about that, how that would look, Art, I can't tell you.
Well, the reason why I'm asking you, because if you don't know for sure, I'd rather just table this and wait till another date, bring some facts to the council and have a full council, because I don't wanna make a mistake and then be in trouble for it. So, you know, I'll make a motion just to table it at a later date so we can get more facts.
If we, have a second on that, can we still have discussion on it?
No. Table motion's non-debatable.
Can you debate once a motion has been made or discussed?
Well, if there's no second, you didn't second, did you?
No,
You said, you asked a question, if there's a second.
right.
So if there's no second, then the motion dies for lack of a second.
Could you withdraw your motion, Art? So
Well,
we can
So
discuss
if
it?
there's no second,
Okay, I'll withdraw the motion.
There's no second, so it dies.
yeah,
So what's your question?
My concern is we're already sitting on some property on the north end of town that, how do I say it? Right, that, there's some concerns over whether things were followed correctly. And I think we need to sit down with Tom and make sure we dotting the i's and crossing the t's on this one, and make sure that everything is exactly the way it needs to be, because I'm not comfortable with the way it sits now and not having a plan you can show us, not having development stuff. I'm not gonna go in and try and change things again back to where it was without making sure that the city's sitting in the right spot on this, because we don't want to end up with more land like we got tied up north. For right now. That's my opinion.
Hey, Council? You good? I'm good. You want to take your motion?
do you have any, you know, see if you've got other comments, I don't know if Jeanette has any. Okay.
I think we need more information, concrete, written information of
I think
exactly
it's
what
dead.
the intention
I think it's just dead with that. I already had that information here before with the engineer, but the concrete and all that, that's up to Tom to come up with more information on that. My thing is, general business, that's up to you. We already have it right next door. If it's a conditional use permit for a campground, it can't be anything outside of that conditional use permit.
Or it could be anything that's allowable under general business.
No, it has to be under that conditional use permit.
No, if
If
the
the
council
conditional use
determines to rezone it to general business, it can be used for any purpose listed under general business. The conditional use allows for an extra use that's beyond the normal general business. But if you withdrew that, it would revert back to any purpose for general business. Is that correct?
I don't think that's right.
Yes.
I mean, when you have
That's
that
why it's
conditional
important that we
permit,
have to
that's
know
all it
exactly
is.
what you plan to do with this. And there's just a lot of ambiguity here. And access is a major concern. I mean, I go back there right now with the ambulance on occasion, and you can barely get in there. It is a concern. And if you are gonna double or triple the number of campers back there and you are maintaining the same access, it is very difficult, especially in the wintertime. soft, you got gravel, you have snow, it's trees, it's narrow. It's a concern. I mean, I can't even imagine trying to pull a fire truck back in there. I mean, the ambulance alone is tough to get in there.
We bring 45 footers through those trees to get to the couple sites we got. I can get through there with any vehicle. I mean, I get through there with the dump truck and everything else. That's bigger than your ambulance. But I won't argue with that. So if we take this all the way to the back, and we have these sites that are 100 feet long and spread out 30 feet to make the 2,000 square foot, we're spread out a lot more so that they have better access and can get in and out. That's what we're trying to do.
My opinion is more information is needed on exactly what and how and the plans from 13th Street all the way to the west end of that property line. Access, driving, roads, utilities, everything.
It's already there. I really don't know what you want. I really don't. So Tom's gonna have to educate me on that.
Okay.
We already got 20-some feet of road going all the way back. And it's a straight shot right in there. Trees and all that, we've been taking out trees like crazy. If you want some firewood, it's back there. I just see a need. Just like we need a mobile home park in town, just like we need single family, just like we need multi-family. The only comment I got with Troy's, don't let one thing, because I realize that's a big thing. Don't let that one thing jeopardize the town from growing like it could or being available to others.
That's my biggest concern, because we're sitting on some land up there, Chris Peterson's sitting on land up there that he can't do anything
Can't do anything with.
And we're in court over it.
I get
So
it.
that is, like, don't let one thing, hang on, when you say don't let one thing, that's the one thing that I'm concerned about, is that we're doing it legally.
Is that one thing, but you can't let that one thing affect the rest of town. We haven't tried to
Sure
do
we
business.
can. We're getting sued over it.
I know you're getting sued, but don't stop the train. I really am a big, I can give you other towns to look at that have run into the same thing. And it really jeopardizes those towns. I mean, it can stop economic development in its tracks. And you're right, you're being sued. I don't know what to tell you there. It's a mess.
That's my concern.
And I don't see what either party are trying to gain. I won't argue with that.
And I think that's a huge part of what the city council does, is tries to keep the city out of getting sued.
And doing stuff legally.
And that's my concern. So, and until we sit down and can talk with Tom and go over that, I mean, Tom said he doesn't have all the
I just want to go
information.
through all those standards
So.
and make sure everybody's on the same page. So
Yep.
we will, that's fine.
Okay.
Is there a motion to table?
Should I make a motion to table based on we need more information in Tom Freeburg, the city attorney's gonna look up the statutes to re-educate the city council on the condition for the rezoning.
Who's in second?
Motion by Shutt, seconded to table. All fair side?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Who's the other voice I just heard?
He don't even know the form.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they were
I'm
doing.
like, what is that?
That should be good.
I'll get the door.
Yes.
Come on, I'll get the door for you.
Thanks, guys.
We don't want you to fall. We saw the wipeout figure and we go. What,
Mike, what's that?
Well,
Are there a couple things we need to move? Skip to, it's Mike has to,
Yeah, we can, I think we gotta do the malt beverage licenses.
can you hang on for just like 5 more minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, we wanna go, we're gonna table some of the stuff there that, if we can do the malt beverage license and get them approved.
Retail on and off sale malt beverage for South Dakota Farm wine licenses renewal.
Yep.
Shall I make a motion?
Where's this one at here?
Under Elaine.
Line, okay. So there is an item to approve the retail on and off sale malt beverage and South Dakota Farm license renewals. How many and which businesses are these, Jerry?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we need to read them off?
Bridges at Beresford, Jet Truck Plaza, Total Stop, Dollar General, and Family Dollar.
They'll be in the motion.
Is there a motion to approve the licenses?
Boone makes a motion to approve the on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota Farm wine license renewals.
Shall I second?
Motion by Boone, seconded to approve the retail on-off malt beverage and South Dakota Farm wine license renewals. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Under my reports, those are all just information, so we can do them at the next meeting. There's no action needed on any of those. You said something about some employees possibly?
Financial thing, are we,
We'll wait till Elaine's back the next meeting, we'll do that one.
What about the March financial report?
We can wait.
Yes, we can do that next
Okay,
meeting.
all right.
Other employees you said that we need to bring on.
The wages, yeah. I think some of this other stuff here, the second reading on the ordinance for sure, on the sewer under old business. I'd like to get that done.
Consider second reading on adoption of ordinance.
Yeah, that's the one we had last time regarding the sewer rates and the pH levels and adding all that stuff.
So you want to do right, make a motion?
I would like to have a motion so we can approve that, yes.
Okay, shall I make a motion, consider second reading and adoption of ordinance 2023-04, an ordinance of the city of Beresford, South Dakota, amending and revising municipal ordinance of the city of Beresford by amending chapter 8.05 sewer provisions and chapter 8.06 determining wastewater charges.
Second. Motion by Schott and seconded to consider second reading and adoption of ordinance 2023-04. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
What about old fashioned Saturday?
I think we need to have some more discussion on that, don't we? We have time.
Under new business, I think we should, if we can do all of those, that'd be good, because those all are some things you have to sign there. Put them back.
So we have a couple of things from new business, Mike. One is the construction phase engineering agreement with Banner Associates. It was a packet that was included in the agenda.
Okay.
do you need a motion there?
Yeah, I was just gonna highlight, they usually do that in a couple different things. We have a constructions administration, which basically they do all the paperwork, make sure that the bills are getting paid, make sure everyone is paid off that should be paid. That's $30,000 of the total construction staking and observation. They're gonna come down, they're gonna survey it, they're gonna lay it all out, they're gonna make sure that they're following the plans. That's $92,500 maximum. And then they got an allowance for $12,000 for construction plan writing up, and then we usually get a whole set of plans when it's all said and done. They go out and resurvey the whole thing, and then they'll give us a set of those plans. So it's $134,500. So if we can get an agreement to go ahead and authorize Banner so they can get started on some of the project survey and stuff like that.
Boone makes a motion to accept the construction phase engineering agreement with Banner and Associates for the ball field in the amount of $134,500.
Up to.
Up to $134,500.
Shot second.
Motion by Boone, seconded to authorize a construction phase engineering agreement with Banner Associates in the amount up to $134,500. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Approved. Do we need the asphalt treatment?
Yeah, we should do that. They were wanting us to get that back in a few days, so.
How much is the amount?
It's $125,571. We've only got $100,000 budgeted, which includes engineering and Jeff and I talked to the guy. They will honor it at that, right? They said, we will not go over whatever you guys authorize us to. If we want to do the whole project, it's 125,571. Jeff, I told him, I said, we'll look through the budget, see what we can come up with. If we think we need to get it done, we'll try to find some additional dollars, or Jeff might have to cut something else back if we have to. But
Need a motion?
we would like the motion to approve the entire amount right now. We have the ability to adjust that as well.
Okay, shall I make a motion also where 2023 multi-community asphalt surface treatment project as stated, 125.571, and Jerry and Jeff and the asphalt people will work out if it's a different amount.
Boone second.
Motion by Sean, seconded to award the 2023 multi-community asphalt surface treatment project in the amount up to 125,571. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There's a lease for the Beresford sign. I think I saw it was in the amount of $1.
Yeah.
I think it just adjusted the electricity a little bit or something.
The city already pays the electricity. Yeah, so well, Tom and I'll redo the first page there, but, yeah, we just want to put it on our property, and I just want to get it off the tax rolls. We're paying taxes on it, and they said if there's a lease in place, then we don't have to pay property tax on the sign. Yep.
Shall I make a motion, welcome to Beresford's property sign with JCT, L.C for $1 per year.
Second. Motion by Sean, seconded to approve the welcome to Beresford sign property lease with JCT LLC. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Quit claim deed, lot 8, block 1. So many years ago, the old theater lot, which is north of Cream and Sugar here, the vacant lot, that was torn down by Union County when it was the theater. Alan Sweeble bought it, I believe, in a tax sale. He didn't let it go back for taxes, and the property owners of Cream and Sugar have now bought that property for taxes. There's a cloud in the title. And there's been a request to clear off that cloud in the title to have the city sign a quitclaim deed because it was titled with the city at one point. That their interest went when that went back for taxes. So this would just say the city has no ownership interest in that lot and allow the title to be cleared for the Ganglers who own the Cream and Sugar and that vacant lot.
Need a motion?
Yes, this would authorize the mayor to sign a quitclaim deed from the city.
Shall I make a motion for quitclaim deed to be signed by the city of Beresford and mayor for lot 8, block 1, original Beresford city as the city mayor, Tom Freeberg stated.
Second. Motion by Sean, seconded to authorize a quitclaim deed for lot 8, block 1 of the original Beresford city. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. You have a pay increase for Colton Laubach, effective 4/6/23 from 2235 to 2303, 85% scale. Is there a motion to approve the step increase?
Boone makes a motion to approve the step increase for Colton Laubach from 2235 to 2303, effective 4/6/23.
Shot second.
Motion by Boone, seconded to approve the step pay increase, Colton Laubach to 2303, effective 4/6/23. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. We have a listing of new hires for 2023 seasonal help.
Shall I make a motion for new hires 2023 seasonal help as stated in our packet, the list is there. That Kathy, you got a copy?
I do not have the most recent one, I don't think, but we'll get it.
You can get your copy.
You good with that, Jerry?
Yeah.
Boone second.
Motion by Shot, seconded to approve the new 2023 seasonal hires. Any further discussion?
Are these for the swimming pool parks and what are they for?
Yes.
Pool and park, yeah. So if you have two
Okay.
guys, you want to hire two.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Further discussion?
You want to start right away or not?
No, well, we
I'll wait till next month. I thought it was in the draft, because it's not here, so.
So are
I saw
these,
the packet. I thought I saw one for,
There's just one from Jeff,
yeah, there's two people though.
Yeah,
Jade and Jeff.
Is it in there?
Jaden and Jackson.
Maybe it's right. Grab the next one up there. There it is. Oh, there it is, okay.
So it's not all the pool and the parks, just a couple? I'm looking through the packet and I'm not seeing anything.
I just sent you a list.
Yeah, there's a lot of them on there.
Oh,
There's about 30.
I think we hired just about all the ones that applied. Some will work less hours than others, and that's the way it usually goes.
This includes the two for the maintenance.
Yes.
There's two in the maintenance, Jack Hanson, the rate of $17.50, and Jaden Hollingsworth, $16.19. Is that the correct part-time pay scale?
Yeah, they come off the pay scale, Jeff got that off there, so.
No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. We can enter the discussion item 2023 Library Week Proclamation. I will not read it because of time. We can enter that in. Do we need to approve that?
I think
it's mayoral declaration.
yeah. So. We should do the travel request in the bill, so.
Is there a motion to approve the travel request?
I make a motion for a travel request for wastewater seminary for 18 to 20 here, Kopinski, Telecom Operation Conference, May 9th to 11th, Fargo, North Dakota, Hanson, Van Vogen, Harris.
one second.
Motion by Schott, seconded to authorize the travel request. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Is there a motion for opposed? No.
I seen that.
Is there a motion to authorize payment of the bills?
Who moves pay the bill?
Second. Motion by Bill and seconded to authorize payment of the bills. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Executive point.
Yep.
Did we cover all the things we had to?
Yep.
No further business for the council, meeting adjourned.
thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
No executive?
They're not from the.
You're